As the May primary election gets closer, Perry County Clerk Wayne Napier says they are adding a second location to early vote. He says this year voters can early vote at the courthouse or at the Perry County Public Library from May 11th through the 13th. He says they hope adding this new voting location will help everyone involved.
It just helps them and actually us also on election day. But that way we won't be overcrowded with people on election day. And if you come in early, just have it over with. It makes it easier for people.
Napier says they also have a new e-poll system that will make the voting process easier. He says all you'll need to vote is a form of identification. This morning we learned a former lawmaker from Eastern Kentucky died on Friday. Hubert Collins served in the Kentucky House of Representatives in District 97 for 26 years. Collins was from Whitensville in Johnson County, just north of Paintsville. Funeral services for Collins will be Wednesday at 1 o'clock at Jones Preston Funeral Home in Paintsville. Hubert Collins was 86. One Floyd County student took home 2 first-place awards from the recent area Special Olympics, and his school is celebrating his success. John M. Stumbo 8th grader J.J. Johnson loves to run, hopping around a few different sports over the years before finding his passion, hitting the pavement. He has trained hard to be the best runner in the school, and though he feels he's far from that title, he now has 2 first-place track awards from last week's Special Olympics to fuel him up ahead of the state games.
I hope to also get, colleges' attentions, or the attention of colleges from state. Hopefully earn me a little scholarship for track on the way. But other than that, though, I just love the experience, and I can't wait.
The Mustang says he's still putting in the work to do well at the state level in a few weeks. Hear more from JJ and his coaches coming up tonight at 6. Commercial airline pilots are retiring at record numbers, with some in the industry fearing there will not be enough new pilots to replace them. The aviation program at Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond is seeing the impact of the shortage in more younger pilots learning how to fly. WIFT's Phil Pendleton spoke to the aviation director about the opportunities available.
Many of the pilots that graduated from the aviation program at Eastern Kentucky University could one day be working at regional airports like those here in Lexington, but I am told that the opportunities are endless for those that want to enter that career path.
We've got graduates from our program flying with all of the major airlines.
360 students are now enrolled in Eastern's aviation program, and they're able to use 31 aircraft, 25 of those owned by the university. About 60 graduate each semester, and they're likely quickly finding jobs. A 4-year program can result in a student who's never flown an aircraft, maybe even never been on a plane, having all the FAA certifications necessary from private to commercial. Filling a needed role because the military is no longer filling the pilot seats they once did decades ago, with many of those now nearing the mandated retirement age of 65.
Yeah, it's great for us. To be honest with you, our enrollment has doubled, almost tripled over the last 3 to 4 years in our program.
It is really a good situation for young people that want to go into this career path. The jobs are plentiful. Those numbers are only going to increase, and the pay is very good as well. I'm told that many of the pilots that fly planes out of regional airports the size of Lexington are likely going to earn in the 6 figures. In Lexington, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Senate says COVID-19 only increased the shortage because many airlines allowed pilots to retire early at 62 or 63 instead of waiting until 65.
Well, a beautiful sunny afternoon for many of us. The only issue is you walk outside and, oh, yeah, I need to go get the coat. It's in the 50s outside in many spots. Here's the view from downtown Somerset where the fountain is on, even though it's going to be near freezing tonight. Either way, a beautiful sight there in the downtown square. It is a little cool right now at 55. A lot of us are in the middle and upper 50s right now. A couple of spots, especially further south you've gone, flirting with 60, but for the most part, it remains a rather chilly one out there through the next 12 hours. Not much in the way of cloud cover, really, until we head towards tomorrow morning near daybreak. Before then, Plenty of sunshine, but plenty of cool air. We're in the 50s this evening, falling into the 40s overnight. And a lot of us are going to wake up in the 30s or even the 20s on our Tuesday morning. The very latest on the frost and freeze potential and when a few showers could try to return to the region. I'll have all of that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Well, birds are falling out of the sky in Wisconsin. That's not a metaphor. They really are. It's a phenomenon known as Loon Fallout, which happens when rare weather conditions cause ice to form on the wings of migrating loons. Gordon Severson has more.
This loon here was found early Thursday morning in Wisconsin after falling out of the sky. The Raptor Education Group in Antigo, Wisconsin, says the bird has some internal bleeding but is getting better, and they should be able to release it sometime next week. The group has received 25 calls just like this since Wednesday, with 7 on Friday alone.
We have not received any calls here.
Natasha Bartolota with the National Loon Center in Cross Lake, Minnesota, says they haven't heard of any loons crash landing in Minnesota, but they're following the situation in Wisconsin closely just in case it starts happening here.
Definitely a concern when we first heard it, especially because loons really can't move around on land. Their legs are on the back of their body. They're really specialized for diving.
The Raptor Education Group believes the fallout was caused by atmospheric conditions over the Great Lakes, with cold temperatures and moisture causing ice to build up on the loon's wings.
Loons are already pretty heavy birds, and so the addition of ice on their wing feathers could further hinder their ability to fly.
Experts with the Raptor Education Group believe the weather event that is causing this has ended, but they are expecting a few more calls this weekend as people continue to find these loons out in the wild.
Hopefully it's not a continued problem, and hopefully the weather gets better for all of our sakes.
Now, part of the reason fallout impacts loons is because they fly at high altitudes. The coronation of King Charles III is just 2 weeks away. The celebration is set to include crowns, carriages, and quiche. The newest British monarch has chosen the simple egg and cheese dish to be featured on his big day. The official royal family Twitter account released the recipe for the King's quiche. The ingredients include spinach, fava beans, cheddar cheese, and tarragon. They want to encourage anyone who wants to celebrate the coronation to make the dish at home and share it with family, friends, and neighbors as part of a countrywide coronation big lunch. The event is set for May 6th at Westminster Abbey in London. Same day as the Derby, by the way. Well, for most of us, rejection is usually a tough pill to swallow, but some prospective college students are finding an unconventional way to embrace rejection. Leslie Marin has that.
You could call that sound therapeutic. Listening to Eye of the Tiger. One by one, seniors from downtown Magnet High School shredded their dreaded college rejection letters.
What colleges have the nerve to reject someone like Keisha?
I think it's someplace called Barnard. Swarthmore?
But Keisha wasn't alone.
I was rejected from Georgetown.
I got rejected from UCI, UC Irvine, and Reed College.
Oh my god, I have quite a few. I have like Northwestern, Northeastern, Cornell, UCLA.
The king of rejection letters?
Long Beach, USC.
This guy with 17.
Columbia. Yale, Vanderbilt.
And while it might seem like an odd thing to celebrate, who got rejected the most, Counselor Linda McGee isn't trying to sugarcoat life for her students.
Well, the rejection party is to take the sting out of college rejections, because rejection is a part of life. And it's time that people understand you don't always get a trophy.
But in this case, students did get ice cream. And by the end, we're feeling pretty grateful for those awful letters.
It was a really good opportunity for like students, including myself, to like kind of forget about the rejections and like celebrate the fact that we're college bound, because I know a lot of the students from our school are first generation, low income. So I think it's really something we should celebrate, and this is like a great way of doing that.
And it's a reminder that sometimes a no.
Dartmouth, Princeton, Columbia, Stanford, and University of Rochester.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Can open the door for an even bigger and better yes.
What school took you? I'm sure, you know. Where are you going?
I committed to Harvard.
The website bestcolleges.com offers some tips for dealing with college rejection. They say to plan ahead before applying. Do not take it personally. Acknowledge your feelings. Get excited about other schools and consider transfer options. Coming up as First at 4 continues.